What is up, guys? GT Solly here. Today I'm going to put together a real quick video of just my top 10 most anticipated games of 2016. Some of these don't even have a release date or may be coming out after 2016, but these are just my top 10 most anticipated games. I'm going to go from least to greatest, so let's start at number 10. At number 10 is Rime. Rime is a game that was announced in Gamescom in 2014, but I haven't heard much else from it since then. It's an open world game with no combat. Although the game director said there will be plenty of action, the main pillar of the game is exploration. I really enjoy games like this. It's a nice change of pace from all the shooters I usually play. It kind of reminds me of Flower or Journey, with the beautiful visuals and nice, peaceful, relaxing, calming gameplay. I hope it's not one of these projects that you hear about and they just never come out. I hope to hear more from this game, possibly at E3 this year. At number 9 is Batman by Telltale. There isn't much but a teaser trailer for this, but I love Batman, and since the Arkham series has ended, I'm excited to know that I can still play some great Batman games. I can't wait to see some gameplay from this. Maybe it'll move higher on my list once I see some footage. But Telltale has always made great games in the past, so I trust this will be another great one. I hope the art style is not like The Walking Dead. I don't know if I would like to see that in a Batman game, but who knows, maybe when I see it, it'll look cool. Now at number 8 is No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is a game where you have literally billions of stars to explore. The goal of the game is to get to the center of the universe. Much like Rime, exploration is the main theme. All the environments are procedurally generated. They have some kind of algorithm that generates the planets as you land on them. Everybody's in the same universe, but the universe is so large that developers say it's almost no chance of running into another player. It's something like a 1 in a million chance. So you pretty much have a better chance at winning the lottery than ever seeing another player online. The game looks very interesting, but it's so huge and I haven't seen any gameplay. All I see is how endlessly you can fly around and explore millions of planets, which is definitely a cool concept, but the lack of gameplay has me worried. It's like, imagine Grand Theft Auto. It's really fun to just goof off and drive around recklessly and see how big the world is, but imagine if that's all there was. Imagine if there was no missions, you just drive around LA and explore. That's my only concern with this game, but I'll most likely be getting it when it comes out anyway, so we'll see. At number 7 is Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's an open world co-op game, and I was interested in The Division because of the multiplayer aspects, and this Tom Clancy game is no different. Ghost Recon looks like a lot of fun. I love playing strategy games and having the options to either go in guns blazing or stealthily, especially when you're communicating with your real life friends, because one of them could decide to not stick to the plan, which could also make things interesting. The fact that it's open world and you have these little jeeps to ride around in just looks so cool, man. I can't wait. At number 6 is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It's a first-person open-world platformer. Now if I were making a game that had a lot of parkour, I wouldn't think to make it in first person, but it works surprisingly well. Another cool feature is the soundtrack. It's based on how you play. It's kind of hard to explain, so here's a quick clip.
We've made the music even more responsive to how the player decides to play the game. So when you run, we have more percussion. If you stop still, we'll have pastoral chords. Basically, you control how the music plays by your actions in the game.
I never played Mirror's Edge, but I downloaded the demo on my PS3 and I played it over and over and over again, and I had so much fun with it. I finally bought the game for about $7 last month, but I still haven't played it. I may go back and play it right before this is released, or it'd be great if they remastered the original for people like me who haven't played it yet. At number 5 is Friday the 13th. You may remember this game was announced last year under the title Summer Camp from an indie game company. However, Sean S. Cunningham, the director and license holder of the films, heard what they were working on and gave them the license to use for free. They have since started a Kickstarter to help make the game even better, and the game is now called Friday the 13th The Game. This makes this the first Friday the 13th game in over 25 years, with the last game being released in 1989. The game will have a story mode, but I haven't heard much about how that plays. What has my interest is the multiplayer. There are 7 camp counselors. All of them have different abilities. For example, the nerd can fix things, the jock can run faster. They have all the stereotypical horror film characters. In the game, 1 person plays as Jason and 7 play as the camp counselors. The goal is to be the last one alive at the end of the night. You have nothing to defend yourself with. You can only run or hide. It's like watching a horror movie and you always say, man, that's stupid. Why did they do that? Man, I would've. Well, now we can see who would survive. There's no release date yet, but I'm waiting to hear more. Coming in at number 4 is Mafia III. Mafia III is a third-person action-adventure game that takes place during 1968 in a fictionalized version of New Orleans. You play as Lincoln Clay, who is a soldier just returning home from Vietnam. He was also part of the Black Mob before leaving for the war. After returning, he gets involved again, and that's where the game starts. It's a nice break to see a game take place in the past for once instead of the future. It seems like every game that comes out is in the future. It's like they want to add new gameplay mechanics, but can't think of anything else, so they just add a bunch of stuff and say it's from the future. Anyway, this game looks great. I can't wait to play it. I'm so tired of seeing these games in the future. At number 3 is Detroit. Detroit takes place in the future. I know, but this looks good, and it's made by Quantic Dreams, the guys who gave us Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. If you recall, Quantic Dreams released a tech demo in 2011 called Kara. It was really interesting to watch. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link in the description below. Although it was just a tech demo, everyone started asking for this to be made into a game, and even David Cage, who writes the stories for these games, said, quote, "It left me a little bit frustrated because I wanted to know what would happen to this character once she leaves the factory, what the world would be like, and what she would think of it, and this is how Detroit started," end quote. This game is a city full of androids. There's one who has emotions like a human, and this game will explore what it means to be human. I haven't seen any gameplay, but I'm guessing it'll play something like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, which I don't mind at all. At number 2 is Rise of the Tomb Raider. I like the new direction the series is going. The franchise really needed a reboot. I played the first game and it felt fresh and new, but still familiar. It still felt like a Tomb Raider game. So I was excited when they announced the sequel. The wildlife is what I remember most from the original Tomb Raider on the PlayStation 1. Shooting wolves and bears and alligators, and they look scary as hell in this game. I can't wait to play it. It's a shame that I'm still anticipating this game and it's been released about a year ago, but I guess we have Microsoft to thank for that. But it's almost time. We should be hearing an announcement for a PS4 release sometime soon. And my number 1 most anticipated game is Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. It probably comes as no surprise that Uncharted 4 is my most anticipated game. For the longest time, Uncharted 2 was my favorite game. That is until The Last of Us was released. I'm a little more excited than usual because Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 were all written and directed by Amy Hennig. Now she did a great job, but the story in The Last of Us was just the best I'd ever experienced on any medium, movies, books, or games. And that story was written and directed by Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley. Amy left Naughty Dog in the middle of production of Uncharted 4, which may explain the 3 different delays. But the project was handed over to Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley, who scrapped everything and rewrote the story from scratch. I was actually really excited when I heard that because that means this is going to have a more personal, human story than any of the past games. It's going to explore the relationship between the characters we've all gotten to know throughout this series, and it's really going to make them come to life and feel like real people more than previous games. I can tell that just based on the trailers. It's a completely different tone than the trailers of previous games, but it still has plenty of action. We've seen that as well, so we can still look forward to those epic set pieces that we've come to expect from an Uncharted game. Naughty Dog has made it pretty clear that this will be the last game in the Uncharted series, so I'm sure they've spent time making sure that this thing is going to be a masterpiece, and I can't wait to play this masterpiece. I don't mind the delays, as long as you give me your best product come May 10th. If you're just as excited as I am about Uncharted 4, then hit that subscribe button because I will be doing an unboxing of Uncharted 4 The Libertalia Edition as well as the Uncharted PlayStation 4. Well, that concludes the countdown. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. I have a lot of great content coming out. You don't want to miss it. So hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you'll be the first to know when I post a new video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.